So it doesn't matter if you're an employee, a manager, or even a business owner in Bangladesh. There's this one single document that really shapes your entire professional life. Today, we're going to break down that guide, your official workplace rulebook, so we can all understand the protections and, the responsibilities it lays out for absolutely everyone. Think about it. When you walk into your workplace every day, what exactly are the rules that are there to protect you? What guarantees your safety, your pay, and your basic rights? Honestly, it's a question we should all know the answer to. Well, the answer is found right here, in one place. It's the Bangladesh Labor Act of 2006. You should really think of this as the single most important rule book that governs the entire relationship between workers and employers all across the country. So, here's what we're going to walk through. First, what this rulebook is all about. Then we'll get into why safety is such a huge priority. After that, we'll cover what you need to know about your rights and your pay. We'll also look at how disputes are handled. And finally, why having just one law makes things so much fairer for everybody. Okay, so let's start at the very beginning. This isn't just some boring legal document. It's the actual foundation for a safe, fair, and predictable work environment for millions and millions of people. The main goal of the Labor Act is actually pretty simple, but it's incredibly powerful. It's all about creating one clear, all-in-one legal framework. It's designed to kind of balance the scales, making sure things are fair by clearly spelling out the rights and responsibilities for both sides of the coin, from factory floors to corporate offices. All right, building on that idea of fairness, let's talk about one of the most important things this law covers, safety at work. And just to be clear, this isn't just a friendly suggestion. It's your fundamental right to have a safe and healthy place to work. And the law gets really, really specific about what this means. We're talking about basic, non-negotiable stuff. For example, your workplace has to provide safe drinking water. That's in Rule 58. It's got to have proper lighting and good ventilation, which are covered in Rules 52 and 55. And of course, emergency exits must always be clear, and you have to be protected from anything hazardous. These are the absolute fundamentals. And this is a perfect example of just how practical the law is. Take a look at Rule 61, which is all about fire extinguishers. See, it's not enough to just have one somewhere. It has to be in a place where you can easily see it, and you have to be able to get to it no problem. It even says it has to be mounted at a specific height, 1,000 millimeters, which is basically a meter off the ground. It's that kind of detail that turns legal text into real life-saving action. Okay, so beyond keeping you physically safe, the law also protects your professional rights. Now we're going to dig into the core of your employment agreement, the official paperwork, your salary, and all the responsibilities that define your job. So there's this key document called the service book, and honestly, it prevents so many headaches. Your employer is legally required to give you one within 15 days of when you start. It's the official legal record of your entire time there, your start date, your position, any promotions. You can think of it like your own personal work passport. And this really gets to the heart of the law, which is all about balance. It's a two-way street. Employers have clear duties, right? Like providing a safe workplace and paying you on time. And in return, workers have their own rights, like getting that fair payment. And, this is a big one, the right to organize and form unions to represent their interests. Yeah, let's talk about pay for a second, because the law is super clear here. You have a legal right to get a pay slip that breaks down your earnings. Also, if you're okay with it, your salary can be paid right into your bank account. And here's the kicker. Your employer must keep a clear record of every single wage payment made to you. But, even with the best rules, disagreements can still pop up. So what happens when things go wrong? Well, the law actually provides a really structured way to solve workplace disputes. And a major player in this whole process is the trade union. The Labor Act gives the official legal framework for workers to come together and form unions. This gives them a really powerful, unified voice to negotiate with management, and that process is called collective bargaining. So when a dispute kicks off, the law lays out this clear three-step process. First, it starts with direct negotiation. That's the collective bargaining part. If that doesn't work, it moves on to something called conciliation, where a neutral third party comes in to help find a solution. And if there's still no agreement, the final step is arbitration, where someone makes a binding decision that settles the issue for good.
Now, to make sure workers are protected when they do speak up, the law specifically forbids something called unfair labor practices. This includes things like discriminating against someone just because they're a union member, or punishing a worker who files a complaint, or blacklisting a former employee, which is basically trying to stop them from getting another job. All of that stuff is totally illegal.
Okay, let's bring this all together. The single biggest impact of the 2006 Labor Act might actually be something you wouldn't expect, but it completely changed the game for the world of work in Bangladesh. Before 2006, the whole legal situation was, well, it was a mess, a confusing maze. How many different laws do you think were trying to govern labor relations? Take a guess. The answer? Over 25. That's right. The Bangladesh Labor Act of 2006 got rid of and combined more than 25 separate, sometimes overlapping and really outdated laws, and put them all into one single unified code. This was a massive, massive step towards making things clearer and more consistent for everyone. And you don't just have to take my word for it. The law's own introduction, the preamble, says its purpose is to consolidate and amend all those scattered laws into one. The whole point was to create a single source of truth for everything from working conditions to minimum wages. So, what's the big takeaway here? It's simple. Knowledge is power. By understanding this rulebook, you're not just learning about some laws. You are literally arming yourself to better stand up for your rights, to understand your responsibilities, and to help build a workplace that's safer and fairer for every single person there. And that kind of leaves us with one last thing to think about. Now that you've got a better handle on this foundational law, how are you going to look at your own workplace tomorrow? What are you going to notice now that maybe you didn't see before?